Hello and welcome to this podcast created by Family Journeys and the Mind Movement to support you on your journey. I'm Lorna and I've been working with people facing difficult situations for over 10 years. The way we see this is that your well-being as a parent going through child contact is really important to the well-being of your child. Children worry about the parents and can pick up on how you feel and when your emotions are high. So when parents learn new ways to understand and manage their emotions, their children also feel better and happier, and they often learn new skills from you too. So taking up the tips in these podcasts is a win-win for you and your child. If you're feeling unsteady as you approach your child contact with Family Journeys and the challenges of parenting after separation, then stay tuned for some helpful insights and tools created for you to stay well. What can you do to start to feel okay and reduce your anxiety? So yes, there is good news. There are some simple tools that you can use to manage your anxiety that will help you and your child feel more calm. As we mentioned earlier, our children pick up and they know how we're feeling. So 3 things. Number 1, name your anxiety. Bring it into awareness, notice it, say it's in your upper chest, put your hand on your upper chest. This is my anxiety. Number 2, breathe. I need you to breathe. Do this with me now. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. And again, inhale for 4, 3, 4, exhale for 6. If your anxiety is super high, I need you to blow that exhalation out high. So inhale 4, exhale 6, blow it out. So it's a longer exhalation that we need here. It's going to impact our nervous system and help us feel more steady. And thirdly, I need you to move. We're full of that adrenaline and cortisol. I need you to look around, full 360, walk, burn off that adrenaline, have a shake. So it's not sitting down in the corner with a brown paper bag. You do what you need and move to get safe. So let's look at some tools that you can use to reduce anxiety in your body. I'd like you to first of all notice the energy in your body. What are you going to start to notice in your body as that higher energy starts to impact and kick in? So really bringing that into awareness. Now I'd like you to ask yourself, what is my fear? What is my fear? What is triggering this? What is making this happen now? What is my big worry about what is going on here? Bringing that into awareness. Also self-care. So what do I need to do now? And actually good self-care is listening to this podcast. That's a great start. So what do I need? What would be useful? How can I start to make myself feel comfortable, more safe to reduce the symptoms of anxiety? Also the breath. So using the breath, and again, it's about really blow out the exhalation powerfully. So we inhale for 4, 3, 4, exhale. Blow it out. And again, we can do this with our kids, with our children. We can pretend that we're holding a hot chocolate. So inhale, smell the hot chocolate. Exhale, blow on it to cool it down. Talking is super important. So talking about how we're feeling and what we need is going to help reduce your anxiety. Family Journeys, please hold in mind that all conversations are confidential and we respect and understand this is a difficult time for you and that people need different support. And also just have a think about people who feel that they're safe for you to talk to. Movement. When our bodies are full of this adrenaline and cortisol, this higher energy, we need to really move that adrenaline. So imagine a dog, when a dog gets a fright, it has a shake and then it's okay. We sort of need to do the same. So we've got to really shift that adrenaline, have a shake, go for a walk, stamp your feet, swing your arms. So it's often people will talk about, oh yeah, meditation is great for anxiety. Well, yes, it is. However, you are unable to sit down and be still unless you've gone and shaken that off. Okay. So you may need to stick the music on and have a dance first before you can be calm. Also with anxiety, we need to distract ourselves. It's as if we've got a monkey jumping on our shoulders, shouting in our ears all these negative thoughts that could happen. So we need to really distract that monkey. What can we do creatively for this? So this might be music, Lego, drawing, colouring book, might be playing Candy Crush. We've got to stay busy so we're not sitting with that anxiety where it's going to become overwhelming and maybe turn into panic. So at the child contact sessions, there is a parent room where there are colouring books and music. So I really need to encourage you to think about what your distraction may be. Mary was bringing 2 children to contact on the bus. In fact, it was actually 2 buses on the journey to the contact centre. The children were getting fidgety and started winding each other up, and Mary was starting to feel under massive stress. Her patience with the children was getting short and she felt really overwhelmed. Her arms and legs felt like lead. Mary's worries were about potentially seeing her ex. Even though the staff had assured her they would be in different rooms during the contact, the pain of separation was bubbling up and causing anxiety, and she felt herself starting to freeze up. She was able to text the contact centre staff to say how she was feeling, and by merely putting her feelings in a text, she started to feel better. She tried the hot chocolate breathing with the children on the bus, and it distracted them from fighting and made her feel better too and more calm. By this time, the contact centre staff had come outside to meet her, and she was feeling more steady and balanced. So why does breathing work? So let's bring in a little bit of neuroscience here. So in our brain, as we've discussed earlier, we know that when we have anxiety, we go higher energy. So this is really activating what we call the sympathetic nervous system, high energy, hyper aroused. The opposite side of this is lower. It's called the parasympathetic nervous system. That's where too much of that we can be depressed and there's very little movement. Where we want to aim to be is in the middle. So we call this the window of tolerance, and this is where the adult's back in the room, we can think, we're making good decisions, and really we're in the here and now. So breathing will help us come down from being high, the sympathetic nervous system, and it activates the parasympathetic nervous system to bring us down. And we want to just get back into that thinking place in the here and now, simply by coming back to the breath. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. If you're super anxious, really blow it out. Or just to come back into the window of tolerance, if you're starting to feel those bodily symptoms, inhale for 4, exhale for 6. So we're lengthening the exhalation. Do this when you're walking. I'd encourage you to take 4 steps in, exhale for 6 steps. And also in awareness, just try and slow the walking down a bit, feeling grounded, feeling steady. Okay, so how can we engage more in the preventative tools and self-care? So I really want you to hold in mind about how much you're drinking, alcohol, caffeine, food, because if we don't eat enough food, so say on the day of contact, if we're not having breakfast, our blood sugar is going to fall and it's really going to trigger our anxiety. Just think what happens when we don't give our kids food. That happens to us as well. How can you bring movement in? Bring to mind now the person who you are going to speak to or who you have the choice of speaking to before the session and after the session. Who is that safe person that you are able to text them, email them, call them? So you're going to get some support from Family Journeys for what you need. So they understand how you are feeling. Also, bring to mind for after the session what you and your child may need. Okay, so what would be a treat, what will feel safe, something to look forward to, so you're able to come into your window of tolerance to feel safe, so you're less on high alert. Let's do a recap of some of the points that we've raised around anxiety in relation to child contact in this podcast. So the 3 things are to take away. Number 1, notice. Notice your anxiety. Name that this is my anxiety. Again, you may put your hand on your body, maybe the upper chest, maybe the stomach. You may be noticing the hands shaking. And remember, it's totally normal to feel anxious about your child contact. And most of our clients at Family Journeys experience some of these symptoms. Second point, breathe. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. We know we need to just put a longer exhalation in. And thirdly, movement. Look around. Feel safe. Walk. Burn off that adrenaline. Don't sit down in the corner. You may actually want to take a drink of water, but you're going to put some movement in so you can feel safe. We hope you found this podcast useful. And if after listening to this, you feel that you could benefit from talking with a support worker, then feel free to text, email, or call us confidentially to discuss your child contact. And if you have any questions or areas that you need clarity on, no matter how small, we'd love to hear from you and may also be able to let you know about other services for your child's well-being that may be useful. Thanks for listening and take good care of yourselves.